Guys, our new sponsor, Cernucci, has teamed up with the UFC to launch their new UFC collection design of urban jewelry. As the first and only officially licensed jewelry brand from the UFC, Cernucci's incorporated the hottest designs from across the pond in London for this incredible collaboration. Each piece is made from 18-karat gold-plated and rhodium silver-plated and authentic metals, and the quality of this collection is unbeatable. Inspired by some of the greatest fighters in the sport, this partnership between Cernucci and the UFC delivers fight fans unique pieces of jewelry that will never disappoint. With over 500,000 satisfied customers worldwide, Cernucci's guarantee promises tracked and insured delivery and easy returns if you're not 100% satisfied. There will be a limited number of unique pieces released over the next couple of years, so stay tuned. But for today, Cernucci makes the perfect gift for UFC fans. Buy your pennant today at Cernucci.com or just click on the link below. Paddy the Baddy versus Conor McGregor. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. As a matter of fact, let me go a step further. Do you have a better one? And it's hard to get them wrong when you go to Conor McGregor. Like, I'll always encounter somebody, whether it's and I appreciate these guys. If you're this guy, don't feel like a fool. But whether it's in person and I'm confronted with somebody, whether it's a DM or whether it's a public message on something the kids call Twitter, it's always the guy with the bright idea that's the smartest guy in the room, and he knows what to draw and he knows what will sell, and then it involves Conor McGregor. Like, you can't go wrong when it involves Conor McGregor. Paddy the Baddy was talking with ESPN. He said it's the biggest pay-per-view that you could put on. Talking about himself versus Conor McGregor. And he said, but I don't see it happening. He looks pretty big right now. I think he's going to come back at 170 pounds. And I'm going, well, hold on. Let me stop you right there. You look pretty big yourself. Would you not go up to 170 pounds to fight Conor McGregor? I mean, I thought it was a really interesting comment. I mean, it was just Paddy being candid, Paddy being very fair and saying, I'm seeing pictures of Conor. He looks big. I just thought that was quite rich coming from a guy they've renamed Paddy the Baddy because he looks so big. And if the only thing stopping you and Conor from fighting is 15 pounds, it sounds like there's nothing that would stop you and Conor from fighting. That was just my take. That was my take on that part of it. There was one bigger piece that speaks to a psychological element that I did take issue with, which is Paddy the Baddy said that would be the biggest pay-per-view that you could put on. Now, what that implies is that Paddy versus Conor works. So that's a fight that you would want to see, that's something that would bring people together, stop what they're doing, and part with their money, right? Like, there's a lot of things that go into drawing and selling and making of the big fights, and Paddy's declaring this the biggest fight. Now, Paddy has largely led a life where you could see how he could come to that conclusion. I'm just sharing. If Paddy's going to fight Conor, who cares? You got two guys that can fight like hell. They're from the same area, and they're pretty good with their mouths on the microphone leading into it. Yes, Chael, that's what we have. Okay, who cares? What are you fighting for? Are you fighting for home turf? Are there people within your community and they think Conor's the baddest dude? You think it's Paddy, and we can explain that around. Is it anything like that? If it is, I'm in, but tell me the story. Do you guys have a personal beef? I know you're not fighting for championships, and I know that wouldn't be a number one contender fight. I know that this is going to be a fun fight. It's going to be something to do, and we don't have another idea in place. It's going to be at a weight class where you're both a little bit more comfortable. Who cares? What are you fighting for? And if you're of the mindset of, I don't have to fight for anything, I just have to fight and people want to see me do it, you would go into the category of a narcissist. And they're walking around amongst us. They're all over the place. You just want to be careful because that plan isn't sustainable. There's only a few athletes in the history of time who possess something that people want to see, and you can stop right there. Michael Jordan was one of them. Michael Jordan could be in the championship game, meaning he and his team are taking on the second best thing out there. He could be in that, but he could also be playing some scrub. If it was Jordan, man, people were coming out. Didn't matter if they knew the result. Didn't matter if they knew the outcome. Didn't matter if he was going to score 100 points and the other guy was going to score 4. They wanted to see him. They want to see the tongue hanging out. They want to see that ball. They want to see him flying through the air. There was just things about Jordan. They want to see the celebration. Guys, I'm going back to the 80s, and some of you don't even know who I just referenced. Some of you literally don't know who this Jordan person I just referenced is. Okay, great. I think you're seeing it today to another extent. I think that LeBron has that. And I think that we could even support that because LeBron was hurt for a period of time. Ratings across the board in the NBA went down 40%. Like, you really needed to have LeBron. I think LeBron would fit that. But it's rare. It's just a very, very rare athlete. Floyd Mayweather would be real close to that category, is what you think, and is the way the story is written, and it's something that you all believe. Floyd worked extremely hard to make sure that he had people tuning in. I don't know if I've seen anybody in sport work harder than Floyd to give the appearance that he didn't try at all. Like, I've seen that in fashion many times. I've seen a guy come out in like a t-shirt and his hair's all a mess and he hasn't shaved. But if you knew what was going on, that hair is gelled and was done by a stylist to make it look like he had bedhead. That t-shirt cost $340 and he had it tailor fit. And that beard that you think is the way that he woke up after 3 days of not caring was manscaped with a one shield around. Like, they'll work really, really hard to make it appear that they're not trying at all. There's nothing wrong with it. I just share with you, in the world of sport, if you think that people are going to come because your name's Paddy and his name's Conor, because you do MMA and he does MMA, do you think less people are going to come because you did it at 155 pounds as opposed to 170 pounds? None of those things have anything to do with anything. If you want to put Paddy and Conor together, great. You got a real good story there, right? You got the absolute old dog veteran in Conor who's possibly going to be passing the torch, or he's going to cling to it. And generally the guy trying to cling ends up having it taken from him. I get that, but not every time. I'll offer you Canelo Alvarez at 21 years old. I'll offer you Floyd Mayweather as his opponent, 36 years old. It's a 12-round beating. Those judges stole rounds and tried to make it close, and they still came to a conclusion of 10-2. It was a 12-round dominant beating by Floyd. So every now and then, that does stay alive, and it gives you hope, and it gives you hope for the next time. It's not a bad story. I don't disagree. But if those two don't have a beef, if they don't have a reason for fighting, why are they? And why would Paddy think that we would watch it? Why would he think that we would watch it in record numbers? Is there a misunderstanding of the business? Is there a misunderstanding of the psychology of the fan? Or is there a narcissism that people just want to see what he has to do? Is there a more clearer understanding of, hey, I've sold a whole lot of tickets and got one hell of a reception and nobody knows who my opponents have been, so Chael, I am in that category. Oh, by the way, whatever Conor does is massive, so if you put them together, Bob's your uncle. Oh, that's not a bad point. Like, I'll stand back. That's not a bad point. I thought we were fighting about something else. I thought we were fighting about the idea that you as a star versus another star works on its face without us having any principal reason as to why we're fighting. And if you don't have an organic reason as to why you're fighting, there is a way a promoter can solve it. There's something called a belt. He'll throw it out there and people will dedicate their life to go and get that belt. But we're not going to do that. We're not doing it with the promoter's help, and we're not doing it with the belt. We're going to do it based on you guys and the only commodity that you have to offer, which is your performance. Why are you guys fighting? Why would you fight? Why would you fight Conor? Conor do something? Conor say something? Conor get under your skin? Something around town, something on social media? I'll take absolutely anything. I will not take that you're fighting Conor and Conor's fighting you, and therefore I should care.